Thank you all. As the dignitaries comes in, we will continue to recognize them. Quickly, we'll go to the first item on our agenda, and that will be the talk on becoming a student. This will be delivered by Professor Dabo. Professor Dabo is the Dean of the Management Sciences Faculty of the University of Benin. Can we please put our hands together for him as he comes up to deliver the first talk? This is going to run for 30 minutes. You are kindly requested to take down notes as you will have an opportunity to ask questions or make comments. Welcome, sir.
The registrar, let me start with the provost, the registrar, our invited guests and special guests, students and ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege this morning to speak to you on this very important topic, becoming an A student. Becoming an A student. The first thing I like to do is to define who an A student is. An A student is one who has more A's than B's in his or her result. An A student is one An A student is one who has more A's than B's in his or her result. Simply put, an A student is an excellent student. An excellent is more of an aptitude than an aptitude. According to Ziegler, he said, your attitude and not your aptitude will determine your altitude. Your attitude and not rather to behave positively or to behave negatively. So if you have the feeling that school is calm, I'm telling you, it will show in your behavior. Likely not go to class. You are likely to absent yourself from classes. You are likely not going to pay attention to the assignments. You are likely to be very unserious and uncommitted to your studies. My course mates, I attended University of Benin, and in that class, a number of departments, we take lectures together. This young man was given education, economics, but he wanted to read accounting. So, but because he didn't make the cut-off, they gave educational accounting, and he became very, very displeased about the course. And his attitude because of his attitude towards it. But my mentor, who is a professor of economics, my mentor who became the chief economist of African Development Bank, also read education economics from the same department, University of Benin. But his attitude was different towards it. He came out with a 2-1, from there went to do a master's in UI. In fact, he's one of the most excellent economists that Africa knows right now. The same class, the same course, different attitude, different destination. So it's important for you to check your attitude as you start off this course. So becoming an A student is not an accident. It's a desire, it's a choice. It's an attitude, it's a discipline, it's a commitment to it. And I can tell you, I've taught for 25 years, and in these 25 years, I have not seen an A student who is down. You say there's no job, but all my A students are somewhere doing something wonderful all over the globe. In fact, more recently there was one, she was so excellent that the HSBC bank in the UK called her for intern for 3 months before she went for her service. So don't let anybody corrupt your attitude towards your studies with slogans that are more or less viruses and bacteria to your efforts. Alright? So how do you become an A student? I'd like to outline a few points here on what you need to do to be an A student. The first thing about being an A student is having a vision to be one. Having a vision to be one. It was Ellen Keller, that blind woman who was the first to be a graduate in the United States. She attended the Harvard University, and her contribution and impact to society made California State to give her one day. There's a day called Ellen Keller Day in the United States. But she was blind. Look at what she said. She said, the only thing worse than not having sight is having no vision. So you may have 2 eyes open, but you have no vision. And when there's no vision, the people perish. But happy is he that keeps the law. So you need a vision. What's the vision? A vision is a clear statement of your purpose, of your goal, documented. You have to write it down. I don't know whether they give you prospectus here. When I became a student, they gave me a prospectus. And that prospectus, the prospectus showed me the course I'm going to take from beginning to the end of the program. All the courses. And so every semester when I open my prospectus, I still have the prospectus 20 years ago. I will write on every course what I intend to make, because it was my goal that I should come out very excellent. So I will write on it. At the end of the session, sometimes I may not make the exact grade, but I will write behind it and see where my shortfall are. I will strategize for the next session to see where I can use the next session to make up for the last session. So you need a vision. You need to document it and write it where you can see it every day. You have be in class always. You cannot combine it. You cannot be divided in attention and be an A student. Okay, you are in school and you are doing business. You can't be an A student. You will pass, but you cannot be an A student. An A student is one who is focused. If that eye be single, thy whole body will be full of light. So you need to be focused in one direction. Pay the price of being a student, and you see the result of being a student. The moment you begin to combine. I combined because I had no sponsor. I know that if I had had a sponsor, I would have made it first class. The only semester that I did not work, somebody supported me. It was a 4.9 I got. So I knew I got. It was a good negotiation at the end of the day. It wasn't that bad. So, but if you must do combinations, you cannot get the best out of what you are doing. If you must, all right? So I pray that God will help you and give you sponsors. You will not be distracted. You'll be focused. If your eye, nobody will feel light. Okay? So be in class always. Don't think any class is useless. Don't think any class is useless. Every class is important. If you don't know your teacher, you are not likely going to know the course. If you don't know the mindset of the teacher, you are not likely going to do excellently well. You need to study the teacher. That's why you need to be in class. What are his emphasis? What are the things he is saying? What are the things he taught you last? And he said, I'm going to teach you this thing. You need to study your teacher. And one of the ways to study your teacher is also to study the past questions. Study the patterns in which he asks his questions. All right? And then number 7 now. Number 7, don't depend on the teacher's notes alone. In fact,
at that time, that makes you enough, or that made you enough. Nothing is growing, and moving from one stage to the other, one phase to the other. There was no training before until Florence Nightingale, who is seen as mother of nursing, came into focus and, of course, took nursing to the next level. Slide here, Florence Nightingale and what she was doing in those days. She actually, nursing was seen as function of the underdogs. What I mean by underdogs, those that are below, not those that are up there. And of course, Florence Nightingale that came into nursing actually came from a daughter of a king. And so when she came into nursing during the Crimean War, wounded soul was called the lady with the lamp. She would go with her lamp, girls that she drafted, and they start moving from one hospital to the other to take care of the wounded soldiers. Now, nursing, and of course, when she came in, but it was accepted as a profession, and of course, it has entered into a new world, meaning it now has its own unique language, effective, what is called the Arbitration Award of 1983. Just hear what that award declared. Here. So you can see that nursing is evolving and we are moving on. As the nursing profession began to grow and change, new ideas about how to provide nursing care emerged. Additionally, the values defining characteristics of the nursing profession also began to shift. Nursing in the 21st century looks quite different from its humble beginning in the 19th century. Yes, I will illustrate this. Nursing in the 19th century to another. Today, I will talk about nursing in the 21st century. Changing philosophically and futuristically, Scone, author of The Structure of Scientific Revolutions, can identify paradigm as a revolution or a breakthrough, in science that led to significant changes from the status quo. Say that this is not how we have been doing things before. We are now changing. And that is exactly what Edo College has always told us, that the way we were doing things before is not how we are going to be doing things now. That's a paradigm shift from what it used to be. In nursing science, the existence of paradigm shift is seen throughout the centuries. They include emergence of nursing science as a profession that I've just said before, training of professional nurses in the 19th century, what I told you before about Florence Nightingale, physicians, as well as develop a distinct nursing stroke, nick and knock. It was not like that before. Paradigm shift in the 21st, I will dwell on that as we proceed. Now, I want to look at the historical perspective of paradigm shift from 19th century to the present day. Witness organized nursing, that was the belief there in the 19th century, of the causal factor of diseases. The traditional view of nursing practice is 65. Second was Obafemi Awolowo University, then University of Ife, in 1967. And University of Nigeria, Nsukka, followed. These were the three universities that were awarded degrees in nursing in those days, in the 20th century. But today, I want to let you know that more than 70% of the universities in Nigeria now offer nursing as a course. And that has improved and increased all the professionals that are degree holders in nursing. And of course, when you are in the university, you are entrusted with a lot of courses. One major course that actually improved nursing was research, because nurses were not involved in research before now. But as I speak with you, there are researchers in nursing. We'll do all of that as I progress. Nursing started moving from first degree to master's degree and to PhD degree. Additionally, the 20th century feminist movement provided a gateway for nursing science to move from a servant role to the healthcare team to a collaborative and leadership role. So nursing now grew from servant role to collaborative role. So nurses can now work effectively with other healthcare professionals, and like our brothers and sisters, the medical doctors. Now, when they now have the confidence to entrust patients into our care at this time. Nursing research was also emphasized as more nurses started offering doctorate degrees. As a PhD holder, you agree with me that you are a researcher. So nurses began to move from that stage to becoming researchers. And of course, during this period, the only professor of nursing south of Sahara, that professor was a Nigerian, Professor Elfrida Adebo late. She was the first professor of nursing in Nigeria, south of Sahara. She was actually conferred with her PhD by University of Montreal, Canada, where she worked and was promoted to the post of that professor. So it was from there she was drafted to the University of Ibadan. So the University of Ibadan, Department of Nursing, was actually established by WHO. And so she was drafted from there, from Canada, to the University of Ibadan to commence the program. That was the only professor. So you will hardly see a PhD holder in nursing, not to talk of professor. But today, we have several of them. We even have one in our midst. Professor Ukigwe, our amiable provost. It's a nurse by excellence. I actually have her picture in my presentation. I wanted you to see the transformation of nurses from the rudimentary state to the present day. In fact, one picture I actually wanted to show was her picture in her full academic regalia with all the paraphernalia. I also wanted to show another picture of her as a leader, a recognized leader, who is standing before His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, and the Deputy Governor, as well as the Honorable Commissioner for Health. In their midst, that is a nurse. A few years ago, you will never see such thing happening. That's a paradigm shift. And so we are leaving this shift into your hands, the young ones who are growing up, that we will begin to see you tomorrow as senators, as ministers, as governors of states. That is what we are expecting. We are expecting from you. These are the paradigm shifts we are expecting from you. Today we have professors. There are many, though they are still coming up. We have PhD holders. There are many. We still need more. And so we are happy about it. And we are good to go with our paradigm shift to the next level. We also have the emergence of men into nursing profession. In those days, when we were here as students, people were laughing at us. What are you doing in a school of nursing? You want to be a nurse? How can a man be a nurse? But some of us were resilient. We remained. We didn't leave. But today, the rest is history. We know that any profession without men, that profession may extinct. Or that profession will remain the way it is. So with the emergence of men, with movement of men into this profession, a lot of things have taken place. Men are more politically oriented. Men went into politics. They did a lot of advocacy, did a lot of protests. It was actually men, through Olabode, that took the case of nursing to arbitration panel. where nursing became a profession sui generis in 1983. Can we give a round of applause for that? So nursing trends have evolved in recent time. It includes growth in telemedicine, increase in online nursing education, expanding nurse practitioners' ranks, movement of nurses into non-clinical careers, growing practice authority and technological advances. All these are changing the face of nursing. There is increase in job demand as a paradigm shift. The COVID-19 pandemic dramatically led to a bright employment outlook for nurses. A 2020 report in Kaiser Health News found out that healthcare organizations across the globe have increased nurses' salaries quite significantly in an attempt to lure nurses and keep the organization functioning without attrition. The nursing shortage will not be solved overnight, but each new nurse who enters the profession will likely have a range of employment options and competitive salaries and job securities. Yes, let me just expatiate on this. We hear, if I ask any young nurse, even student, what is your aspiration after this program? The answer will be, I want to leave Nigeria, the shores of Nigeria, to practice abroad. Is that not so? It's all right. It's good. It's good, but you cannot leave us. We will not leave Nigeria to suffer. We will not leave Nigeria to suffer. However, don't worry. Good things are coming into nursing. We will no longer be thinking of going out. I want to let you know that, yes, before now, the graduate nurse, that is the nurse that has a degree in nursing, when he or she graduates, such a nurse will start her entry point into service on grade level 8. But as I speak with you now, a graduate nurse, a newly qualified graduate nurse after his or her youth service, start on grade level 10. Can we give a round of applause for that? We are still fighting, we are still pushing, we are still discussing. And of course, with time, we will move to grade level 12. And the exit point is grade level 17. So, there is hope, and everything is moving on fine. We know that the government recognizes the fact that nursing has come of age, especially with the emigration of nurses abroad. Over 7,000 nurses migrated to the United Kingdom, the US, and Canada in the year 2021 alone. It is still counting for 2022. So that is to tell you how the nurse is recognized globally. That is for the job. The growth in nursing education. Like I said, we now have nurses that are professors, like we have one in our midst. She was not given that professorial seat by accident or by fiat. No, she worked for it. She worked for it, and that's why she is a professor today. And so, we are proud of her. We can start to say, oh, we have nurses that are professors. Growth in telemedicine. Yes, telemedicine has to do with treatment of patients from far away distance. You can have a physician in America who will have our patients in Nigeria. There is that contact through audio-visual aids. And I make bold to say that our provost here is a proponent of one of the telemedicine that is going on currently in Benin City and Edo State. I witnessed one. I was with her when some patients were treated by a physician right away in the US. That is telemedicine, and it is growing every day. So that is another shift in nursing, another paradigm shift. Some persons believe that it is only when you have your patient with you that you can care for that patient. No, there are certain hard to reach areas. And apart from that, apart from telemedicine, you also have what is called air medicine, where you use helicopters to fly to hard to reach areas and to attend to emergency situations. Nurses are involved in that. We also have advances in technology. We now have robotics. I had it in my slide, but unfortunately we are not seeing it. Where robots will carry out functions, where nurses will use certain aids, certain equipment to care for their patients. These are advances in technology. A number of nursing trends are influencing the future of the profession. Nursing still have the fundamental goal of care that improves patient outcomes. The young ones who are coming up should begin to think of what to do to enhance nursing and improve nursing. Those of us who have been there for some time, we have played, some of us are still playing our role, and we expect that you young ones that are coming up should begin to put on your thinking cap and know what to do to benefit your profession that you belong. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Mr. Charles Oloriegbe, for that extensive presentation, touching on how the nursing profession has evolved over the years. While the lecture was going on, we had some members of the cabinet entering the house. With the kind permission of the Honorable Commissioner here present, I'd like to recognize the presence of the Special Advisor to the Edo State Government on Strategy, Policy, Projects, and Performance Management, Mrs. Sarah Esangbedu Ajose Adeodu. You're welcome, ma'am. Also, we represent the presence of the Honorable Commissioner for the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Joe Eboigbe, ably represented by Mrs. Christy Onyonyo, the SSA to the Edo State Governor. You're welcome. In the room is the Acting PS, Ministry of Health, Mr. Stanley Edianwa. You're welcome, Acting PS. Also here is the Managing Director of the Edo State Public Building, Mr. Austin Osakwe. You're welcome, sir. With the kind permission of the head of service ably represented, I'd like to move on quickly to some questions and answers, touching on the last topic we have received. We would like to have 2 or 3 questions. If we have any, please raise up your hands and you come forward, please. Student nurses, do we have questions or comments? Okay, the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Health, would like to say something.
Good morning, everyone. Due courtesies to members of the High Table. My question is directed at the Speaker, at the Provost, and at the students in the room. Is nursing a profession or a vocation or both? I make reference to a comment by the Speaker, which I feel strongly we need to address. Is nursing a profession, a vocation, or both? Thank you.
Thank you, my Honorable Commissioner, for that question. Before the shift, especially in Nigeria, before 1983 IAP award, nursing was a vocation. And what it means is that as a vocation, you have no regulatory body that will regulate practice. You are also limited association. Like now we have National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, very active and very motivated. we had very rudimentary training as at that time. Nursing was under tutelage, and it was hospital. It became a profession. We now had a very strong regulatory body of Nigeria. That regulatory body can come here today and so before. Now, today, we have a standard curriculum. We had no standard curriculum before. Just come, go there, what are we doing today? Bed bath, you just do bed bath. Now we have standard curriculum. And in fact, the curriculum is just recently, also has added certain things to our curriculum, which we are going to do very soon. In fact, there is a workshop going to come up on that increase in curriculum or improvement in our curriculum. So I would say that for now, as I speak, nursing is a profession. Sui generis. I will use that word because when we say nursing is a profession, we must add sui generis. The sui generis I have earlier explained. That is not under command of any profession. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. HOS, Honorable Commissioner, I stand on the existing protocol. I know my commissioner, I know you put me on the spot. I know I was expecting that to happen. Okay, well, as Mr. Olerebe said, and eloquently said, nursing is a profession right now. It is a profession in the sense that we have in our curriculum, we have both the liberal arts component and the science component, plus we have to use critical thinking, and that makes us a profession. Not only that we're a profession, we also have a scientific backing to what we are doing, because we can no longer have a piece of paper certificate that does not, which in my opinion, it is a sort of continuing education thing that you will get, which is like a paper, the signboard to a paper, to bread. So it doesn't have any meaning. So right now we are a full-fledged profession, and that is what EDOCNS is up to. And if you come through our curriculum, you will be in your own standing. Thank you. I hope my commissioner answered.
Can we give both speakers a resounding applause? As you know, I am a doctor. Some of my best teachers in my academic journey have been nurses. Both informally and formally. I did my MPH in University of Liverpool for 3 years, and I had some distinguished nurses who taught me on that program. But I would like you all to listen carefully. There was somebody on the podium when I came in this morning, and he told us that there's practically nothing you cannot learn by going to Google. So can I request that we all go to Google and check the meaning of the word vocation, please? And if you find it, I would like you to get the mic and say it out loud what the vocation you found means. Just type in Google, vocation meaning. If you are the first to find it, I will share my mic with you. Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And according to Google here, vocation is a strong feeling of suitability for a particular career or occupation.
Thank you very much. And so as Commissioner for Health in Edo State, I want to pass a strong message. The healthcare professions, whether medicine or nursing or pharmacy or laboratory science or any healthcare profession for that matter, must first be a vocation before it is a profession. The professionalism is the brain of what we do. The vocation is the heart of what we do. Take away the heart and there is no life. And that is why we have a lot of professionals in healthcare today who work with their heads, but their hearts are not in the job. And everybody in this room is a potential patient. Do you agree? Do you want to meet or be cared for by a doctor or a nurse with a brain and no heart? Therefore, Provost, I say this anywhere I go. We must emphasize in our curricula the heart of our profession. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Health. The profession, for all those in the medical profession, should first be a vocation before the profession, because the vocation comes from the heart and the profession comes from the mind. And once you put your heart into it, you will definitely give it best. What I got from what the Honorable Commissioner has said today. Another round of applause for her. The Head of Service, Honorable Commissioner, Special Advisor, all other protocols observed. Next on our agenda is a talk, a lecture on the ethics for students to be delivered by the Assistant Registrar of the University of Benin. Please join me with a round of applause as I welcome Mrs. Erimato Eisonwa. This talk will run for 15 minutes. Please take down notes. Answer questions.
Honorable Commissioner, the Provost, the Registrar of this great school, my former boss, other distinguished invited guests here present this afternoon, our beautiful students here. They are the reason why we are gathered here. Permit me to stand on the already established one. I am going to talk on ethics for students. Ethics refer to the rules or code of conduct that people use to determine when an action is acceptable or not. Ethics is a branch of philosophy dealing with values relating to human conduct, with respect to the rightness and wrongness of certain actions. What this discussion is not about. The nursing profession is one profession that is known for its values. I said professionals that are experts when it comes to discussing the ethics of nursing. I should sit at their feet to learn about the ethics of nursing. But my job has been made very easy. I have been asked to discuss about ethics for students. The aim is to teach students ethical principles that should inform their interaction with one another, staff, and other stakeholders within and outside the campus. So, I will be talking about beneficence, non-malfeasance, justice, accountability, autonomy, fidelity, and veracity, as we would have it if we were talking about the ethics of nursing. Because doing that will amount to selling ice to Eskimos. So in the next few minutes, with your kind permission, everything I will say will be as it concerns students. Greatest Nigerian students! Is that how you can do? Greatest Nigerian students! Thank you very much. A student is a brand ambassador for his or her institution. Your conduct can either make people perceive your institution in a positive or a negative manner. You will agree with me that if I say some, without mentioning names of institutions, their students are not serious. It's only so and so student from so and so school that will have an exam the following day and you see the person bawling. I'm sure some universities will come to your mind. Abi? All right. You will also agree with me that when we say that certain graduates of some institutions tend to have the highest number of employability because of the standards of academic learning, some universities will also come to your mind, isn't it? All right. This informed the management of this great school to organize a lecture such as this. Now, why do we go to school? I don't know. Why do we go to school? Can anyone tell me? To learn. All right. In school, not only will you learn subjects, but you learn new skills, including social skills. These skills and knowledge that you learn at school will help you to now in a later life, will help you now and in later life as you start work. That's why you see when someone behaves in a certain way, you hear comments like, I thought you went to school. Have you heard someone say something like that? Because there are certain expectations from that person. For example, good attendance in school shows potential employers that you are reliable. Doing your assignments on time may show that you will do your duties diligently. However, a history of examination malpractice may show that you cannot be trusted, that you are dishonest, and will look for every opportunity to cut corners. So we can say, we go to school to learn how to learn. We go to school to learn how to learn. Because we will continue to learn throughout the duration of our professional lives. Now, ethical principles in student lives. Ethics are important because they assist to run the system smoothly. Ethics set the standards of what's acceptable and what's not. Therefore, protecting the interests of both students and other stakeholders in the campus. I can see that you're all beautifully dressed in your uniforms, white. Imagine there was nothing like uniforms. Or imagine you had to just do whatever you like. There'll be chaos, isn't it? So that's why ethics is very important, to guide our actions. Some of the ethical principles we'll be talking about today include 1, respect. Respect constitutes a very vital aspect of ethical principle. Respect for yourself first, because the value you place on yourself will determine how others will perceive you and treat you. You must place value on yourself, you must respect yourself, and the respect for one another. your colleagues. Don't say because you are students, you just talk to each other anyhow. We are here to learn. You are here to learn. So you must respect yourselves, respect your colleagues. You must respect constituted authorities. There are rules and regulations that have been set by your school. You must respect those rules. Accountability, honesty, teamwork, academic integrity, hard work, compassion. I talked about respect. Respect for your teachers. It's unfortunate that what we see these days, younger generations, permit me to use that, seem to see everybody at par without showing the respect that is needed from them. Some people can walk into their teacher's office, and the way and manner they communicate with the teacher, you'll be amazed. Some can open the door and just say good morning. But ideally, you're supposed to say either good morning, sir, or good morning, ma'am. So it is very important that you show these in your character. Now, teamwork is another very vital principle you should imbibe. Teamwork. I have a quote here. It says, competition is the law of the jungle, but cooperation is the law of civilization. When you work as a team, you achieve more. But if you work as an individual, how far you can go may not be so much how far you will go. But when you work as a team, we have colleagues. I was a student. We have colleagues. Sometimes when you are given an assignment, some persons have information, they will hold it because they don't want the other person to get a higher score. But in this time and age, that doesn't work anymore. Teamwork. It's very important. If you have ideas, share with your colleagues. I'm sure you have some persons in mind that you can relate this to. All right. So it's something that you see around you. Some persons don't want to share. They want to be number one. They want to, like back then in school, we used to say they carry first for university. Have you not heard that? And if you look at it, those people who tend to be so selfish, I'm sorry to say, most of them don't really turn out well in society. If you look at those that were that were very good team, that had good teamwork, that did things together, they are more sociable, they come out and do stuff, and they are great people in society today. So we expect that from you. Another point here is academic integrity. Academic integrity means honesty and responsibility in scholarship. Academic assignments exist to help students learn. Sometimes you are given assignments, you try to cut corners, to do all sorts. At this stage where you are now, you may not know the harm you are doing to yourself. But I'm here to tell you that that's not the right way to go. Because if you have confidence in yourself, like I would say, if you don't pass it, if you don't know it, you don't deserve to pass it. Because that assignment is to make you a better person. And any knowledge that you acquire, it stays with you for life. Nobody can take it away from you. So assignments are not punishments. They are for your own good. A time will come, I don't pray for that, but maybe everything will be stripped off you. But what you know is on the inside of you. It stays with you for life. And it gives you that edge. There are some persons who cannot sit in exams without cheating. Because they have so much belief that they cannot do it on their own. They have believed that lie for too long. And so whatever they do, they must cheat. So I want you to go from here today and tell yourself that you can do it. This knowledge is for your good. If you acquire this knowledge, it becomes a part of you, and you will be the one that will enjoy it. Then, the next point I have here is hard work. Success does not come cheap. You are here today. I'm sure there are a lot of persons that applied to be here, but unfortunately, they could not make it. You were selected. You are the lucky ones. And now that you have come here, you must put in the work to come out in your best results. That you put in the work so that at the end of time, you will get the reward. Now, sometimes we mistake sometimes we mistake ethics and or not mistake. We use ethics and morality. They are sometimes we use them interchangeably. While both ethics and morality deal with distinguishing right from wrong, ethics usually associated with a practical set of rules that are to be followed in a professional setting, such as a code of ethics in medicine. Just like I've mentioned earlier, you have code of ethics in nursing, in law, in business. For example, in law, there's a principle of fair hearing. You don't charge a person to court and not give the person the opportunity to air his own side of the story. And so many other professions hold some ethical codes like that. So we have ethics tends to guide the conduct of professionals within a certain environment. Ethics are rules you abide by in order to remain within a community or profession. Now, morals, on the other hand, are your personal values that run to the core of your very being. Your values, what you hold there. These things can, depending on your profession, it's possible for your morals regarding a certain matter to be stricter than the code of ethics for the same issue. For example, I'll use the example of the Good Samaritan. I don't know, the story in the Bible where the priest was going to church and saw someone and then passed. That person at that moment needed help. Probably permit me to say that the ethics of being a priest could require the priest to get to church on time. The ethics of his profession not to be stained. But morally, it would have been better if the person had helped that man in need at that time. So that's why we saw that the man, the Bible described that the Good Samaritan was far better than the man who saw a person who was in need and then walked away. Likewise, there are some of us who come from very rich moral backgrounds. Very rich moral backgrounds. Your ability to identify what is right and wrong may be stronger than your colleagues. So you owe it as a sense of responsibility to help your colleagues build these morals that we are talking about. Now, we are saying ethics, morals. Why ethics? Why? Why is it so important? It spells out minimum standards of practice. High sense of ethics and values will make a student trustworthy. A student who has a very high sense of ethics and values, the moment you appear, it's seen all over you. It's everything. People respect you more. Ethics among students will make them better experts, better professionals, and above all, better people, because we want our society to be better. If we have good students who practice good ethical codes, we won't go to the hospital and complain that the nurse was very rude. Abi? Am I right or wrong? Please. In fact, I've heard of experiences where people who go to the hospital, because of the kind of treatment, the hospitality they got from the nurses, they wish they never left. There are some nurses that will treat you like you are, in fact, you will want to remain because you enjoy the petting. They will treat you like a baby. But eventually you don't even have someone who will take care of you like that at home. Wouldn't you want to stay behind? Now, in conclusion, I'm sure my time is up, right? Okay. In conclusion, the students we see here today, you and you seated here today, are the professionals of tomorrow. If we are concerned about the future of this noble profession, of what noble profession will be, then we should invest in the character of our students. character is key. Your gifts, your talent can take you up there, but it is only character that will sustain you. To say that a graduate is found worthy in character and in learning is more than just a maxim. It is where the future of every profession lies. Years ago, certain professions were insulated from some crimes. The police and the society would almost conclude that you are crime-free when you introduce yourself as a nurse, a doctor, a teacher. But today, there are hundreds of internet fraudsters, popularly known as Yahoo boys and girls, who are in the above-mentioned professions. This lecture is an attempt to make us pay more attention to ethics. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Erimato, for that beautiful lecture, which was delivered with so much passion. Nurses, you are ambassadors for this institution, and there are ethics guiding your profession. In whatever you do, whether now or outside, ensure that you are guided by those ethics so that you portray the school and, of course, the entire profession in good light. Another round of applause, please, for the presenter. Do we have any questions, comments from the students? We all are okay with the presentations. We understand the ethics and all. Okay. The HOS, Honorable Commissioner, Special Advisors, the Provosts, all protocols observed. The next on our agenda is Goodwill messages. So we want to hear from our guests here, visitors, stakeholders here present. If you have anything to say, to congratulate the school for this landmark, now is the time for us to hear you. Goodwill messages.
The Honorable Commissioner, I want to stand on existing protocols that have already been established. I am Mrs. Patricia Zazua, Acting Director, Nursing Services, Edo State. I want to congratulate the provost, the staff and students of this great institution on this remarkable day. We are happy that we are here today. I'm a graduate of this school as at 1989. And anyone that was here 30 years ago, coming into this, we applaud Edo State Governor, Mr. Obaseki, for this great transformation that he has done in this school. So I'm happy that I'm here today. The first time I came here, I said, is this the hall that we had trees growing? And we thought that nothing could be done to this place. And he has salvaged it. So for you students that are here, I want to thank God for you first, that you have been able to secure admission into this great institution. You have the school revamped so much. You have everything new, and you have no excuse whatsoever not to be able to learn and to become great nurses. So this morning, as we go on, we know that we have the ICT hub that will be commissioned later. It's also an added opportunity for you to be able to open up your horizon to study and to find things that you cannot easily get even from your lecturers here. If you utilize this ICT very well, I'm sure your training will be much easier. And coupled with the lecture that we've had, that we must uphold our ethics even as students. Gone are those days where nurses are found to be cheating. I'm sure some others are here. Those days will find that you must read, and when you go through nursing yourself, you really come out to be proud of yourself. So I want to join the speaker who had just left here to tell you that it is good to be serious and to study very well. I used to tell my old students that if you fail and you have really done well, you should be proud that you have failed. The reason being that you will know where you erred, and then you go back and do the correction through your receipts. And then you find that some of us nurses, we had 1 or 2 receipts when we were in school. It doesn't prevent you from being a nurse today. So please keep in mind that you are here for serious job, and your years is just 3 years. So if you are good enough, your 3 years become your 3 years, and you live, well trained, groomed, and you'll be proud to be a nurse. And when you go out, you should carry out your duty as a nurse. God bless you.
Thank you. More Goodwill messages.
Great nurses, beautiful nurses, intelligent nurses. Good morning, my honorable commissioner, the provost. I stand on the existing protocol. I am here to represent the chairman of Nurses and Midwife Edo State, Mrs. Catherine Esene. I apologize. I'm here with Auditor 1 for coming late. This is our month of election. We are just coming from Igobazua, where we went to conduct election. I bring you greetings from Edo State's National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives. And I bring you greetings especially from my NAM chairman, Mrs. Catherine Esene. I want to really welcome us, students, to this noble profession. As we know, nursing is a calling. If you take it as a calling, that is when you will do well. It's a calling. It's not a profession that you come into to say, oh, I want to make money, or I want to travel abroad. You will not do well if that is your intention. But if you came in because you had a calling to come and care for the sick, you want to come and show, love and care to them, then you will do well. I congratulate you for this enabling environment that you have. It has transformed. I say kudos for this beautiful work. I want to challenge us. Like, the speaker said just now, but are very, very rich, ethics. We are very, very rich morals. When we come here, we discover that when, students come together, the ones that have good morals will be intimidated good one to infect them. Use your good one. The speaker talk.
I represent Nursing and Midwifery Council Board of Nigeria. Anytime we hold meeting, Edo State College of Nursing is a resounding word. The registrar is so proud of this school because we match, I don't know how to say it. Wherever you call this school, we are #1. And I want to say, I'm glad I was part of the history. I graduated from this school in 1986. And I'm so proud that I was so groomed in this school even when it was nothing. And God lifted me to the highest in the country. And if God did that for me, why there was no facility, then I want to tell you that you are going to do better. Because you have everything it takes to become something and to become the best nurse ever in the country. Our school has trained people that are outside the country and are making names. And you are going to make a difference. You will make a difference. You will bring nursing to the limelight. You will not fail nursing. You will bring nursing. You will make nursing proud everywhere you go. Just like wherever we stand today, people are proud that we came out from this school. I want to say, beyond the sky is your limit. You will make it. You will make it because we have made it. I am retired, but I'm not tired. I'm everywhere, jumping from one nation to the other, representing nothing. And you will do better than us. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Maya. More Goodwill messages.
Honorable Commissioner, members of the High Table, my Lord, Temporal, the Reverend, if there are some traditional rulers here, I also respect you. Members of the management staff of the college, I respect you all, especially the registrar, who has been a very big support of my family. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, great nurses, wonderful nurses, fantastic nurses, fantastic nurses. I give you all these names because I am used to it. I am a chartered accountant, I'm not a nurse. I also am a businessman, a real estate developer. I'm also a retired politician, I must confess. Having been playing politics, not just in Nigeria, but globally, having worked as a special advisor to a governor on African affairs, the governor of New Jersey, I am proud to stand before you to tell you that of all the achievements I've made, there is one achievement that is so outstanding and very important: to be the husband of your provost, Professor Patricia Otigo. It is outstanding. Yes. You see, it is outstanding, not just because she's my wife, but because she is a nurse. The same way she worked in the hospital is the same way she comes home to nurse me and my children. As a professor, she did so well, being a professor at FDU, Philip Dickinson University, the second largest university in the state of New Jersey. And of course in the world, they have campuses in London, in Canada, and others. But instead of supporting the brain drain when people live here to go overseas to work as nurses, she chose brain gain. Isn't that wonderful? So you are lucky to have such a person as your provost. Somebody who understands who you are. Somebody who values who you are. Because let me tell you something. The most required profession in the world today is nursing. Period. If you don't know who you are, you see yourself as the most wanted person in the world. Wanted for good. Anywhere you go, every country is begging for nurses to come. It doesn't matter where they come from now, because they don't have enough. So you are very fortunate to belong to that global profession. A profession is so scarce now. In fact, since after the COVID-19, the whole countries all over the world would wish they can transform everybody passing on the street to be a nurse. No, I'm not exaggerating. This is a fact. Because your profession is so demanded, your profession is so wanted, your profession is so valued. Give yourself a round of applause. But let me tell you something as students. I was one. I graduated in 1982 in this country. Had my youth corps from 1982 to 1983 in Michelin, Port Harcourt. So what I'm telling you is what I've experienced. That for you to succeed in this life, as some other lecturers have said, you must work hard. You must be focused. You must have the determination. That is even more important than the intelligence. Because some people take it for granted that if they're intelligent, they're going to succeed. It's not true. If you're intelligent without works, without determination, you are going nowhere. You must have a vision. And that vision is to graduate you well, pay you well. Money talks. Money talks. If you don't have the money, you go to where? Let me tell you, capital. You are human capital. Capital is a coward and doesn't go where it's not safe. Doesn't go where it's not rewarded. I am saying you are the best and the most valuable capital. And it doesn't matter. You will go where you are valued. If people value you in Europe, that's where you tend to go. So I am calling on the administration of this nation to think twice and start treating nurses, doctors, scientists, and whosoever that takes care of another woman. You have to start treating them well, including the teachers as well. So I can see some movements. Maybe she's here. So nurses, great nurses, absolute nurses, you are the best. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Honorable Ukigwe is the founder of the UHIL Foundation. They are dedicated to rendering support to nurses. And tomorrow they'll be giving out 7 awards to best nursing student here. Can we please appreciate? That foundation is run by himself and our provost, his wife. Remember what we said earlier, that when Her Excellency comes in, we are going to stand up to welcome her, and then we'll take the national anthem as soon as she's on her seat. Immediately after the national anthem, you will now take the college anthem. I would like for you to sing that with passion.
Great nurses. Wonderful nurses. Intelligent nurses. You are blessed. Good morning, and I celebrate with you all today for this great occasion as you celebrate and mark your first anniversary. We are all happy with you, like all the other speakers have been saying. We were here from 1978 to 81. Some of my colleagues are here. We are the alumni
Group 4, 1978 to 81. And we have been identifying with you to make sure this school was reopened. And we give glory to God that it has come to reality. I want us just to say one word about the ethics that was discussed this morning. Please imbibe the ethics. Imbibe the ethics because we are very important in the healthcare system. We are very important. So make sure that ethics that you heard about this morning, make sure you imbibe it and continue because you are ambassadors wherever you go. People see you. You can have a hospital without doctors, but you cannot have a hospital without nurses. So you are very, very important. You are an integral part of the health system. So try and keep it up, and God will be with you all.
Thank you so much. For those who are still moving around, please be seated.
Hello. If you are outside, hello, you. Go back. One of the ethics of a student is to what? Obey instruction. Instruction says sit down. Then you sit down. I don't want to see any student outside, loitering outside. Everybody sits on your seat. Be seated. That lady outside, inside now.
you stand, you will now take the school anthem. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Please be seated. Your Excellency, the First Lady of Edo State, Mrs. Betsy Obaseki. We have in the room members of the Edo State Executive, heads of MDAs, medical and health workers, students, well-wishers. Before now, we've run a series of lectures ranging from the ethics of this profession. Next on our agenda will be the opening remarks by the Provost. With the kind permission of Her Excellency, I would like to call on the Provost, Mrs. Patricia Ukigwe, to deliver the opening remarks.
Good morning. Your Excellency, the People's Champion, the champion of Edo CNS. The head of service, ably represented, my Honorable Commissioner for Health, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I stand on the existing protocol. Today is indeed a remarkable day for Edo CNS. It is very remarkable for us because we are marking our 1-year anniversary
exactly today, last year, it was on a Monday, we received that mandate to reopen this program. After the transformation that His Excellency, Governor Goodwill did. And we received that mandate. And today again, another remarkable day, we have Her Excellency, our champion, visiting our school. That is indeed a fantastic experience, achievement, and accolade for us, EDOCNS. Thank you, ma, for honoring our invite to be here today. Thank you again, our able commissioner, for your support in everything we do. Thank you, DNS, past and present. Oh, I see our consultant, Dr. Shili. Please take a bow. Oh, Dr. Shili worked with the team that guided His Excellency and my SA to bring back to this school. So thank you for coming, for flying in all the way. And my SA, thank you. You know I cannot do anything without you. EDOCNS still calls on you. And our able MD, public service buildings, we offer our heart for you. Please, anybody that I didn't mention, not that you are not important to us. You are very, very important to us. We appreciate you. But as I'm looking at their faces, I'm looking at the ones that I have been harassing. And I'll put it as harassment because I call them any minute and they answer my call and they tell me what to do and the way forward. My commission, I don't even know where to place you in this instance, but thank you. So anyway, today, we are here today to do two things. To open our capacity building workshop. Right now we have 500 students in the school. And the last batch of students arrived yesterday. Some came in on Saturday, some came in yesterday. So we have 500 right now. The last 100 came in over the weekend. And so we are doing the capacity building workshop to kind of enhance their skills as students. And also we'll use this opportunity to open our ICT hub, our computer hub, because we try to expand it, and we expanded it so that the whole cohort of students will do the exams at the same time. As the DNS who sits in the board of Nursing and Midwifery Council told us when she spoke, the registrar of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria declared EDOCNS as the best school that have the best standardized CBT center. And this was when we had only 66 units. So we said, okay, if we are going to be the best, we have to increase the number of units that we have. So we built the extra lab, and with the help of the alumni group 4, Madam President of alumni group 4, they are here. Oh, there she is. So, and the other members of the alumni group 4, they came, they collaborated with us, and they donated the 60 stations. It's a 3-in-1 20 units that they donated, and they put those workstations there for us. Now the next question was, where is this sacrificial lamb that we have to use now? So we bought the computers. And right now, Her Excellency, ma'am, we have those computers, and we just need you to commission it for use so that we can begin to use those systems. And that is why we are here. We thank you, everybody. And again, we have my spiritual leader, Reverend Chris Eze. So, as my spiritual leader, I invited him to bless those units for us after you commission it or before you commission it, either way. So that's what we are doing here. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Provost Professor Patricia Okegwe, for the beautiful opening remarks. I have the singular privilege to mention the next item on the agenda, which is the First Lady's address, Mrs. Betsy Obatseki. She will be delivering the address and declaring this workshop open. Good morning again. I'm very happy to be here today. It's my first time on the grounds of your prestigious school, which I have been told by the governor that it's the best in West Africa, not just in Nigeria. So it gives me great joy to be here. I'm glad I didn't come earlier because the governor kept saying to me, come and see it, come and see the place. And I kept saying, I'll come, and your provost as well. But I'm glad I came today and experiencing the beauty of the campus and the beauty of all of you students. Let me acknowledge once again the Honorable Commissioner of Health, who's here with us, and the head of service, ably represented by the permanent secretary, Minister of Environment, who's sitting on my left. I acknowledge also the husband of the provost. I acknowledge him specially and applaud him for releasing his better half to us all the way from New Jersey to Benin City to help us do the great work we're doing here in Edo State. So he deserves a special round of applause. Thank you and welcome. Welcome to Edo State, welcome to Nigeria. Let me also acknowledge our able special advisor to the governor on strategy, who the provost has described as an essential commodity on your campus. I acknowledge also other dignitaries on the high table. I acknowledge and thank I call her Pastor Mommy. She's one of the, like your provost has her spiritual leader, we also in government recognize that God first. God is the one who created all things, controls all things and all men. And he's the one who brought us to do his work in Edo State. And so we bring him first in everything. And so we always honor men and women of God, particularly those who support us with the work of God. And she is one, Pastor Mrs. Ejimura. Lady Belinda Ogefa is also, she was the former vice chair of the Oredo local government area.
The reason why she's here with me is because she happens to be a nurse by profession. That's why she's here. So I acknowledge every one of you, distinguished guests, our beloved pastor, earlier acknowledged, and your entourage, and everyone sitting right there on the front row, and our beloved students, both male and female. When you hear nurses, you think that they're all usually all women. My mother also, I happen to be born by a nurse and a midwife. So that's why this school and your provosts are particularly dear to me. And yeah, I'll leave other comments for our commissioner to say when she gives her speech. So thank you again for inviting me, having me here today. I apologize for coming late because I mixed up the date. I thought it was tomorrow, not today. And so when I was called upon, and I had to start quickly getting ready to come here. So congratulations again, Provost and students, on your first anniversary. Congratulate the state, the Edo State government, for this accomplishing this feat of rebirthing the School of Nursing, recreating the School of Nursing here in Benin City. Happened to be born and bred in a medical home. My mother was a nurse and midwife and the vice principal of the School of Nursing in Rivers State in those days. My father also a pharmacist. I appreciate things medical. Perhaps that's the reason why I shook my head whenever they're doing anything to do with medicine in the States and harassed the governor to do much more. That's why they call me champion. I guess if I wasn't born in a home like that, I probably wouldn't have that passion. Yeah, so we thank God for everything. And I'm just so happy that this is happening in my state. We have the School of Nursing. My mother would have been so proud of this, and I'm sure your mom as well, who's alive and well. And the service that you provide as nurses is as vital as the services provided by medical doctors. Our Commissioner of Health is a medical doctor, a professor at that, and I'm sure she acknowledges the fact. Because I remember, and I've told this story before, when my mother used to tell us stories of, in those days in the hospital, when they're delivering babies, and doctors usually are the ones who would take delivery of babies. And when they have a problem, a difficulty, they'll scream and shout, "Call Mrs. Amakri, call Mrs. Amakri." That's my mother. And they send for her, she comes down, oh, there's a baby they're just giving birth to that's dying. And the doctor wouldn't know what to do. But there's a midwife who would come, call her, she'd come. Oh, yeah. That's what my mom told me. And her students and staff corroborate the story that she was gifted. She wasn't a doctor, a nurse, and she was the one saving the babies. They said she would come, doctor wouldn't know what to do, baby is dying. She'll carry the baby, turn the baby upside down, and be spanking the baby's bottom. And the baby will come back to life. So she had those techniques which the doctors didn't have or know. So you all regard yourselves as very vital and important in the work of medicine and looking after human beings, saving lives, healing people. You are God's extended arm of healing to humanity. That's what you are. Because the gift and the knowledge that you all have as medical doctors, nurses, midwives, pharmacists, lab scientists, anything to do with hospitals and saving lives is a ministry from God himself, the creator and the healer. He needs human hands to do this. And you are his human hands, bringing succor to lives, saving lives, healing people, okay? So take your vocation very seriously. Take it very, very seriously. You have a man of God here, and I'm glad your provost recognizes the fact that you need God's blessing upon all that you do, okay? And you would also be wise to see yourself and your profession as one that you would account for before your creator. Okay? So I'm hoping that we're grooming a new crop of nurses. You are going to be the newest crop in the country, I believe, that would pave the way and shine the light for others. You would produce young men and women here who would see the saving of a life as more important than anything else, than the money. You will not work in hospitals where they would say a patient would come bleeding and dying. They would say, bring money first before they treat you. That must not happen again in our country. Please, it must never happen. God will hold you responsible for any life that dies in your hands, that you were able to save and you failed to save because of either pecuniary benefits or just heartlessness, carelessness, and just not caring. Nurses in those good old days were the most humane, kindest, loving, and nurturing human beings. That was what they were known for. But the kind of nurses we hear about these days, callous creatures. Callous. You have all kinds of stories in hospitals. The nurses who are supposed to be the mothers and the ones helping the doctors to save lives are the ones who treat the patients in the most wicked and callous manner. That must not be found in any of you, anyone coming out of this school. And I'm confident it will not happen because the woman you have here, she reminds me of my mother. Yes, indeed, she does. She reminds me, she has that heart and mind and courage and spirit of my mother, who was a celebrated nurse. And I'm sure the commissioner will tell you also of our own mother. So we want to bring back, the good old traditions, customs, and life and practices of our matriarchs, those who practiced nursing in those good old days in the way that God meant it. They were like missionaries. That's how they lived, and that's how they walked. In a house in those days, it was like a hospital. Sick people. My father happened to be a high chief back home. So people who are sick at home, him also being a medical person, they'll bring them to our house. Our house was like a hospital. All the time you had sick people from babies to old men and women being treated in the house, and looked after, free of charge. So we need to bring back that culture, that heart and mind. Anyone in that space of having the privilege given to you by God to look after another human being and save life, you must see yourself as special in God's hands. And you must see yourself as, what is going to be demanded of you by God is going to be much more than us regular human beings. So that's my message to you today, and it is not likely you will agree with me on the day of reckoning. You would say that indeed, and as you do well outside, I'm sure the government will ensure to expand this facility so we can have more people and train more people, taking advantage of our most capable provost here, and hoping that our husband lives on here with us for a long time. Thank you again and congratulations. Do I now declare the capacity building workshop open? And I declare also that it will be fruitful to you. You will gain much knowledge and acquire much capabilities today by reason of this workshop. And the man of God will pray over the equipment. And you will have a glorious, memorable time spent here in this school for everyone who's here and everyone who comes in. This is my declaration to the EDOCNS. This day, you will shine the lights to Nigerians. You will do great exploits. You will have glorious testimonies, individually and as a school. And our nation will be the better for it, and humanity will be the most benefactor of it. This is my declaration today. Congratulations. Thank you so much. A round of applause for our mother, Her Excellency, the First Lady of Edo State, a philanthropist par excellence. She has dedicated her life and her office as First Lady to service to humanity and bringing succor to the less privileged. Once again, thank you, Ma. Next on our agenda now is the commissioning of the new ICT hub. And so may we all please rise as Her Excellency moves out to the ICT hall. Please note that after the commissioning, you go for lunch and then come back to the third session of the workshop. Students, please remain where you are.
Hello, students, please sit down. Have your seat, have your seat. After the commissioning, the workshop continues. Your lunch will be served you here. No, as a management, we try the best we can to make sure that whenever we call for a forum like this, we take care of you. Not just with food, but we provide the best faculty for you to teach you. But do you know what? Do you know what? We have not been so happy. But we are still doing our part, but we have not been so happy. You know,
Sorry?
They stream live too.
Yes.
Wonderfully.
She is here with me. Wow. Receive all these gifts with thanksgiving. Amen. For those you used to provide this, we say, Father, thank you for their lives. Amen. Thank you for giving them the resources. Amen. Thank you for persuading them, O God, to release, O Lord, for the use of this school. Amen. Be exalted in the name of Jesus. Amen. We receive these things, O God, with thanksgiving. Amen. And this day we ask that heaven will be open unto this place. Amen. Baba, let there be open heaven. Amen. Even for more in the name of Jesus. Amen. All these equipments, all these gadgets, we decree that they will function to your glory. Amen. There won't be any unnecessary breakdown. Amen. There won't be any unnecessary damage. Amen. Lord, your hand will be upon them. Amen. And they will function maximally to your glory. Amen. In the name of Jesus. Amen. We pray for the staff. We pray for the students, those that are here now and those that will be coming in future. We pray that anybody passing through this place, Lord, will receive great impartation of knowledge. Amen. Lord, that this will enhance their capability. Amen. This, oh God, will enhance what you will be doing in their lives. Amen. That as they pass through this place, they will become resourceful, amen, useful instruments, amen, even in our society. Amen. We therefore, King of Glory, hand this place over to you, declaring that your eyes will be upon me, amen, guiding it to God and promoting it the more. Amen. In the name of God the Father, amen, God the Son, amen, and God the Holy Spirit. Amen. Can I hear a better amen? Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. So next on our agenda, Excellency, is to take a tour around the facility. The other, yes.
Before that, please, Her Excellency, permit me to invite my Honorable Commissioner to say a word.
Sorry, our public address does not extend to
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the State, our undisputed champion in the health ecosystem of the state. The head of service in the represented by Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Environment, the special advisor, the husband of the provost and the provost. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, after Her Excellency spoke this morning, I prefer not to have been called. I would prefer not to have been called to say anything. Because for those of you who were sitting when I made my remarks, you will attest to the fact that it was as though she was there when I asked the question and I made my comments. And so I will simply reiterate what she has said. The medical profession is as good as the heart of the work. People are more interested in knowing how much we care than in how much we know. And what she has called us to do, which is what God has called us to do, is to value our calling. Many people will give their eye teeth to the healthcare professionals of any kind. I have a privilege to be a doctor, the daughter of a nurse, sibling to other doctors. You are privileged to be nurses, laboratory scientists. In whatever field you work in the healthcare space, we all bring a lot of value to the table. But what we have seen, like Her Excellency said, is a situation where we have placed ourselves in front of the people we care for. Our profession, our election, our calling calls for humility. And as we merge humility with professionalism,
Edo State will become the trailblazer in the healthcare space. The heart nurse. No wonder they come from the heartbeat.
Her Excellency, the First Lady of Edo State, Mrs. Bessie Obaseki, HOS AB represented here, commissioners, special advisors, all other protocols observed. This brings us to the end of this segment. And Her Excellency will be taking her leave now, and perhaps she would like to take a talk. But from there, Her Excellency will take her leave. Can we please appreciate Her Excellency?
That is the place. I hope that place is go and perform that skill. So they do the skill here before they go to the training. So we have I saw them in the book. So that's how. And we have this is for general. Okay, so this. And so with their permission, I'm here. Wow. So
I was going to show you what's out there, that man there.
So that is okay, so we're going to the library. You want this here. So I will say, like I just downstairs.
Now go to the contract. This is what I need, including science. But you know, I still do everything in inches. And they do their own centimeters.
I have
Okay, so I was like 1 point ahead of the required CGPA. All right, so that placed me well above some other applicants. If you have 3.49 and you apply for the scholarship, you won't be invited for the assessment. Affairs as well. Now, because I was sound academically, I was able, by the grace of God, very handy in rounding off this particular session. So, the first thing you must have at the back of your mind is that you must be academic. The journey towards attaining any scholarship begins with academic excellence. You must be good academically. You must be very, very good. Because most of these scholarships available, they have a certain CGPA that any applicant should have. You must attain not less than a particular CGPA. And usually, some of them is 3.5. That is 2-1. The more open you will be to receiving scholarships, whether they are international scholarships or they are national scholarships here in Nigeria. And by the way, there are basically two kinds of scholarships. Okay? We have the fully funded scholarships. We also have the partial scholarship. Now, the partial scholarship just makes a contribution to a certain extent to cover up your expenses as a student. To cover up your tuition. And so maybe if all the expenses were to incur for a particular program were to be £20,000, we can give you, let's say, £10,000 or £15,000. As a matter of fact, I had about 8 international partially funded scholarships. Okay? Some of them in the UK, I think one of them in Australia, and I think Netherlands as well. About 8 of them in good universities. But they were partially funded scholarships. In fact, one, the amount I was to pay to complete it was very little, was not so much. Although still in millions, but not too high as expected. That was in the UK. Now, we also have fully funded. Fully funded, the scholarship providing organization or agency is totally responsible for all the expenses directly related to your education. Even your flight ticket, if it were to be an international scholarship, your flight ticket, everything. There are some scholarships that makes provisions for this. Now, so the first thing I just shared with us is the fact that we have to be academically sound. Don't aim for average. Aim for the top. Your desire should be an A student. That should be your desire. I have come to realize by practical experience that most of the time when you aim for average, you get less than average. The best you can actually attain is just average. But when you aim for the top, the worst you can be is average. The worst you can be is average. So always aim for the top. As a matter of fact, you should have academic goals. And that should comprise of the particular CGPA you want to attain. Right from year 1. I had a goal. In fact, my goal was actually to be the best graduating student of the University of Port Harcourt at that point in time. You know? And like I told you, in my year 1, I was already on 4.5. I was the best already in my class. But I didn't achieve that goal because of some certain things that came in, distractions. And so what did I graduate with? 2-1, which was still okay. Okay? So you must aim for the top academically. You must aim for the top. Now the next thing also is that we must read the application instructions carefully. Now, when you are applying for a particular scholarship, you must do so well to read the instructions. If you are required to submit some documents before a specified time, you must ensure those documents are submitted before that deadline. It is even advisable you submit your applications well ahead of time, before the close of that scholarship opportunity. So read the instructions very well. Submit all the documents expected of you. If you are expected to submit 2 references, ensure you submit 2. At least 2. Then submit at least 2. If possible, even 3. Now, the next thing you must also have very handy is that you should study past questions. Try to gain access to past questions. There are many past questions available for several scholarships today. You can go online. Some of them, they are being sold. 2,000 naira, 1,000 naira. Like a compendium. It's like a collection of several scholarship questions that I've set in the past. So that will give you a clue of what to expect in the particular scholarship exam you are sitting for. So you should have access to past questions, previously conducted exams. Have access to their questions to give you a clue. Now, you should also, for those of us who intend to apply for international scholarships, there are some certain things that some of these schools they require, like personal statement, statement of purpose, several essays you may have to write. Now, you are expected to do justice to those essays because they are part of the assessment. They have a particular mark that is attached to them. So your personal statement basically talks about you. What are some of the personal values you have? Maybe leadership positions you've taken in the past. Are there challenges you've had in the past that you were able to surmount? You state them. You can even go online to look at sample personal statement. Personal statement that people have written in the past to have a clue of how yours should be like. And also we have what we call the statement of purpose. That one talks about your intent for choosing that particular course. So in this context, nursing. Why are you coming for nursing? So you state the reasons. You also state your goals. After that, your study, what do you intend to do? You state your career goals as well. In the next 5 years, what should we be expecting to see when we look at you? All right? Now, interestingly, most of these scholarships, international scholarships, they tell you what they want to see in these essays. So you are expected to stick to those things that they tell you. And this same also applies to national scholarships. And because of our time, the next thing we should also do is to research. Go online to assess this, to know about the available scholarships. Google should be your best friend when it comes to surfing the internet in search for scholarships. And also networking. Now, that child scholarship I had was by the privilege of having good networks. My friends who had access to those information. So they told me, short scholarship is available. But I had friends then who were on 2 scholarships. 2 scholarships. Okay? Now, the one I had access to was Shell. That was the one that was still available, so I applied, and I got it. And all through my stay in school, I was being paid a certain amount of money until I graduated. And part of the requirement, like I said earlier on, is for me to be submitting my results, sessional results, directly to Shell. So I write to my department and I'll be submitting. When I'm done with year 1, they will submit. For them to have a clue of my academic performance, they don't want to just see somebody who submitted a very good year 1 result, and from that year and above, they didn't do well academically. From maybe 3.5, they're not on 2.5 or 1 point. They will just withdraw the scholarship. So you have to maintain a certain level of academic excellence all through for some of these scholarship awarding bodies. So research, go online, network, ask questions. There are Facebook groups today that keeps you posted with available scholarships. There are groups on WhatsApp, there are groups on Telegram, and groups on website as well. So I will be sharing with us just 10 websites very quickly, and that is what I will use to wrap up this particular session. Our time is already fast spent. Now, one of the sites is scholarship-positions.com. Scholarship, just scholarship-positions.com. The next one is universegist.com. That's universe, UNIVERSEGIST.com. Universegist.com. This one tells you about the available scholarships and the deadline as well. Scholarship360.org. Scholarship360.org. Scholarsfordev.com. That is scholars for, after 3, 4, dev.com. Yeah. Scholarsfordev.com. That is scholars, then 4, after 3, 4, dev.com. Then scholarshipset.com. Scholarshipset, set.com. Scholarshipset.com. We have about 4 more for me to mention, and I'm done. Opportunitiesforafricans.com. Opportunitiesforafricans.com. The next is afterschoolafrica.com. 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 And I love this next one I'm about to mention. Opportunitydesk.org. Opportunitydesk, DESK.org. This one, now all these that I'm mentioning, they don't only tell you about scholarships, they also give you access to competitions that when you pass, they will give you financial support. Some internship, some fellowships, and all that. And some trainings as well. All expense paid. Now the next...
About the uses of infrastructure. Infrastructure in this context here refers to all the facilities, all the talking of the vehicle use, all the infrastructure that I provide for you to make you comfortable in the process of this your course of study here for about 3 years. Now, how do we maintain the infrastructure? How do we use it? The essence of the essence is for you to know how to use it so that we can preserve it, so that we can maintain it, so that we can run it, so that we don't ruin it. Because if we don't use it very well, we will ruin the entire facility, and those that will come in after you will not see to it. In fact, you as a set might not even be able to use it till you finish your course of study. Now, how do we use this? What is the process? Three in personal usage or preserving it or maintaining it. Number one, people must be involved. That is why you are here. Number two, places are involved. The places that are involved in facility usage here, the aims and objectives is already stated. Now, you know that, let us start from somewhere, like I said earlier. We have so many, you have, am I right? Yeah. You see, some of you come through that bus, you get to the previous people that are, because you are just coming in, you mess it up. You eat things, you use some liquid, you drop it, even the ones that cannot be washed easily. So by so doing, you are ruining that vehicle, you are ruining the facility, because it's a facility itself. You are here now, you live in the hostel. See it as your own house, see it as your own premises, see it as your own compound. If you are living to your classroom or your class or your lecture hall, endeavor to put off your light. How many of you know about what is called power surge? You know it. So if you leave your fan on, you leave your light on, you leave your fan working, for example, you come to the lecture hall, it is very much possible that before you come back from your lecture hall, there will be power surge. Power surge can lead to so many things. It can lead to fire outbreak, that the entire hostel that you live might potentially be in. So that is not good. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, as you are leaving your hostel on a daily basis, endeavor to put off your light, endeavor off your fan. Then for those using the WC and the wash hand basin, when you on it, endeavor to. So it's a collective effort. Even when somebody can make you can make mistake all the while. When you see your friend, maybe the facility is being used and it's left open, or it's possible that the person go into the bathroom on the tap and it's not running, but because there's no water in the overhead tank. When they finally pumped that water, it is possible that the person will not be there again. So you have to take responsibility of putting off that tap. Otherwise, fill the septic tank, it will fill the soak away, and by so doing, it will lead to spillage. They will call it soak away is filled. And that spillage, remember, it's not just water. It's already waste there. Fly will come there and fetch. When the fly fetch, it will come back to your refectory, to your room, to where you eat, and fetch on your food. You know what that means. Before you know it, you consume the food, and they will become automatically your result will be affected by that simple mistake you have just made. So that is for that. Again, let's come to the ladies, which is very, very important at this point. You know, in this school, in this session, even as we speak now, up to 90% of you are female. Am I right? So female are more. They keep on calling facility to it with our plumber artisans. We discover that most of the time, the chambers are blocked, the pipes are blocked. And what is the reason for this blockage? If you go into it, remove all the material, you discover that they are all sanitary pads, which is for the female only. I'm sure men don't use sanitary pad. Does any man that use the sanitary pad? So, I don't know. Maybe I will call some of our female here to lecture you on how to dispose your sanitary pad properly. Because if you use your sanitary pad, you put it into your WC, you flush it, it's going to soak. When it soaks, it will expand. When it expands, it blocks the chamber, it blocks the pipe, it leads to spillage, it leads to so many other things that facility will now get ruined. And the cost of maintenance, the cost of servicing or trying to bring out those waste, those blockages, is even more expensive than the blockage, the material itself. So that is that. I will later call on any of them, but from what I understand, I will also ask you, I'm sure there are one or two of you here that will understand how to dispose it properly. Again, when you go around the facility, hostel over there at Benebo, you see trash bins, you see wasteful, all your waste, eat properly, dispose it properly. Don't throw it on the ground, don't litter it on, because if you litter it, you are ruining the facility. You are all adults. I'm sure nobody here is less than 17 years. At that level, throwing trash around will ruin the facility, will deface the facility. I am sure you hear all speakers saying that this school is the best. This school is the best. This school can only be the best when we preserve, when we maintain, when we run the facility properly, very well. And how do we do this? It's a collective effort. Collective effort of facility managers. You are the main person here, or people here. You know, because we are not spirits, facilities are not spirits. Facility officers are not spirits. They cannot be there 24/7. You have to take responsibility as adults. You have to take responsibility as human beings. You have to take responsibility as students. So that at the end of the day, we will keep the facility as new as ever. We will maintain it as new as ever. So when you go around, you have lawns, you have footpaths. Endeavor to walk through the footpath. Don't cross the lawn, deface the entire compound or the entire premises. Is that clear? So now, can somebody here volunteer to tell me how to dispose sanitary pads properly as female? I need a volunteer. It's a serious. This issue will not keep on repeating. It's something that happens. Volunteer, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much, sir. As ladies in the hostels, we have waste bins in front of our hostels. So whenever you are done using a pad, you wrap in it so it doesn't expose the content of what you...
Okay, I think in this context, some time ago, we talked about this, and somebody was saying they've been advised at home not to dispose their sanitary pads in public ways because of Yahoo boys. I don't know how far it's true. So now that you have come to tell us this, if there are other alternatives, I will tell you my own on how to dispose sanitary pads, female sanitary pads properly. Okay, there's somebody here, please. There are so many variables. There are options for it. Look at the lady. Yes.
Good afternoon. Okay, I'm talking from body health experience because of these issues of people stealing used pads. We even had time to...
Thank you very much. It's an option. There are so many variables for it. If you have experience, if you know how to go about it, you can stand up, please. You want to talk? Okay. Any other person?
Good afternoon, everybody. For those flushing, if you want to flush, just remove the cellophane at the front, then the tissue, you put it inside the toilet and flush to avoid
it will get soaked. It doesn't flush. No. It will get soaked. It will that is the issue we are encountering. Any other person, madam, do you have another?
It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, it's all right. Since there is no other person that has the experience of how to dispose this, most of the time I always call on my deputy provost and she has always helped out in this. But from what I understand, I think that to do with the removal of the cellophane. And then I don't know the other content because I've never touched it before. So, but my own option is this. If you know you cannot do all this that they have said, and you don't have any other way to dispose it, rather than to use, instead of blocking our chambers with it, wrap it very well. Even if it's 1 year you are going to the house, take to your house. I think it's better. Yes. So, right now, I beg to call the curtain close, and if there's any question, I'll wait you. Any question, please?
Concerning this factor, we know the way to dispose it. So we are new here. We not want to do the same we do another. You are not supposed to do this or that.
Okay, thank you. But again, you right now, even though you are in the process of being educated, but you're already educated.
I believe if you go into Google, you will see a better process for disposing this. So go into Google. Yes. I'm very sure you will have a better alternative. Any other question, please? Any other question? Okay, since there is no other question arising, I will come in and I wish you a nice day in your program. Thank you.
Okay, please, in addition to what Director of Facility has said concerning disposal of sanitary pad, during the last orientation, an idea came on board. What you do is to open the pad, the contents inside. All right, you remove and soak inside the pool. After a few minutes, you flush. Okay, we are meant to understand that the content inside is wool. So after you soak for some minutes or hours, it dissolves, right? Then you flush. Okay? Now, please, you are not to flush with the cellophane. Is that clear?
Is that you clap for your boss? And your assistant, Mr. Joseph. Okay, very soon your lunch will be here, but if you go, you will miss it too. And then next, let's welcome our librarian, our authentic librarian, Mrs. Adebayo Imande.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to see all your beautiful faces. You are all welcome to EDOCNS. Like he rightly said, I'm Mrs. Adebayo Imade, the college librarian. I'm here to give you an overview of the library, the information resources available in the library, how to quickly access the information resources, and also the services that are being rendered in the library. I don't know how many of us had libraries in our secondary schools. If you know you had or used a library in your secondary school, can you please raise up your hands? Okay. That's a good thing. That means most of us are familiar with the library. But the truth is, the libraries that you find in secondary school are much more smaller, and the services rendered too are not more compared to a college or university library. So therefore, I'm going to start by giving you a definition of a library. What is a library? A library is a collection of resources, both in print and non-print formats, that is easily accessible to the library clients in order to meet their needs. The library plays a very important role in the life of students. That is, you must use the library resources to be able to augment your notes. For our lecturers here, they will agree with me that after giving a definition, okay, in class, during exam period, if that same student give that same definition and another student goes to the library or go online, okay, to consult other resources and add it to the knowledge that they were passed in during the classes, who will score more? Is it just the one that concentrated only on the notes that was given during the classes, or the one that also read the notes and consulted the information resources in the library? Who do you think will score more? You said what? I can't hear you. The one that also consulted the resources in the library, because it shows that you went extra mile, okay, to read and to add to what you were taught. If you just give back what you were taught, you are more like a lazy student. Am I right? So, what is the purpose and objective of EDOCNS Library? 1, it provides access to a large collection of different types of resources for both the staff, students, and faculties. 2, it helps to preserve literature for posterity. That is, if you want to know what happened in the past and what will happen in the future, the library will help you to document those information resources, and you always have access to them. In the library, there is a unit where it's called an archive. The archive helps to preserve information resources. I remember during my undergraduate days, for students of mass comm, when they wanted to write projects, he came to the library, he came to request for newspapers of, I think, whether 1960 something. And the librarian there found that newspaper. Why? Because those information resources are always preserved for prosperity. Thirdly, the library helps to provide a conducive environment for study and research. After the orientation program, I've told the student affairs officer, he will bring you to the library so that you see how an ideal library is. I've been opportune to work in a polytechnic library before, a university library, and now a college library. So I can compare libraries. It's not that I'm trying to be boastful, but the fact is, EDOCNS Library is one of the best college libraries in Edo State. When you come to the library, honestly, you believe what I've just told you. So let's move quickly to the roles of libraries. Why are libraries established? 1, for educational purpose. Like I earlier said, the library helps you to be educated. Like the public library is referred to as the people's university. Why? Because they have information resources that can educate people. Okay? So without you even going to a university or a college, once you use a library adequately, you will be educated. Secondly, the library helps to disseminate information. There is what we call SDI service, selective dissemination of information. Thank God for the internet now. I don't think you go to any good library, even if they don't have the physical resources on ground, they can be able to help you to get it wherever it is in the world. Why? Because it's a major function for the library to disseminate information. The library also helps in promotion of culture. I know we all come from different backgrounds and different tribes. If you want to know about the culture of a person or the tradition of a person, the library stores information resources that can enable you to know the culture of an individual, even without you going to that particular region. Recreation. They said all works and no play makes Jack a dull boy. The library is not just a place where you just come every day for reading or serious reading, so to say. You can also come to the library for relaxation, for recreation. Okay? We have information resources like the newspapers, the magazines, novels, where you can come and relax. You must not come to the library always for serious reading. You can also come to the library for recreational activities, for relaxation. So because of our time, I'll quickly move on to the library resources. What are OPAC, where you can get to know about the information resources that are available in the library and where you can locate them easily. So let's move on to the various sessions. CNS library has 6 sessions. The first one is the circulation unit. The circulation unit is where users come to register where they come to have your email address in case of SDI services, in case you need any information resources. We can easily send it to you via email. We have the e-session, and the e-session is located downstairs. It is just beside the circulation unit. It's in the e-session that you have databases, 3 courses. Session, what we do there is 10 naira, but to make photocopy in our library is just 10 naira. Can you clap for the management for that? I tell you, it's a very serene and quiet environment in our library. First of all, we render reference services. Reference services is the direct personal assistant in the library. The library tries as much as possible to save time of the user. That is one of the biggest difference between a library and a bookshop. For those of us that have gone to a bookshop and in a library, you observe that in the bookshop, books are just stuck there. Okay? They are not well arranged. But in the library, they are well arranged. And one of the major services is the reference session, whereby you help a user to quickly get an information resources timely. So you agree with me that if you go to a library, for example, and everywhere is stocked with books, okay, different subjects are mixed together, and probably you are looking for a book on, go through all the shelves. At the end of the day, you'll be tired, right? The librarians don't just organize those information resources. They also tell you where exactly you can get that information resources without wasting your time. For there to be laws, rules and regulation, and for there to be a better use of services and facilities, there are always need for rules and regulation. So therefore, the library also have rules and regulations. When I just came in, a lot of times students come to the library, and if you ask them, they'll tell you, this library staff is, this library staff is rude to me. But they will not tell you what they've done. If you go to a library and it's noisy, is it a library? No. So that's why in the library there are rules and regulations that are governing the library, and we try as much as possible to make sure that students. Firstly, the library opens 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. And on Saturday, they open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Silence must be observed in the library. So that's why they say the library can also be considered as a burial ground. You know, in the burial ground, everywhere is quiet. Because if you are reading and somebody just walk in and start making noise or leave their phones on with their funny ringing tones, you will be distracted. So we don't allow noise-making group discussions in the reading session. But the good news is that we've also created a chat room, because we know that students also need to make discussions. So in the chat room, there are no library staff that will disturb you, but it's not that you come to the chat room and start your private discussion. It should be an academic discussion. So because of time, after the orientation, I will send you the soft copy so that you have the rules and regulations of the library. In the library, you can also borrow books, at least 2 books at a time. We also have what we call an overdue fine. If you borrow a book we allow you to borrow a book for a week. And the good thing is, after some days, we'll send you a reminder so that you will not say you forgot. But if after that reminder, you still did not return the book, you will be fined 200 naira. Because we don't want you to keep our books and you'll be depriving others from using them. So apart from this, I think the library is a very good to improve and enhance your educational performance. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Libera. Please have a applause for Madam Libera. Do anybody have any question?
Please, do you have any questions for our librarian? No question. Okay, without wasting much of our time, if your hands are not too busy, please jam those hands together as we make welcome Mr. Rodney Ayeni, the Director of ICT of this great institution.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rodney Ayeni, the head of ICT. I'll be talking on the role of it. If you look around, you will notice that for the old students, we have internet connectivity 24/7 around the campus. And it is the duty of the ICT unit to make sure there is 24 connectivity. And also, the ICT unit is in charge of the creation of official social media handles for the school. And also creation of emails for staff and official email for the school. And we manage the school portal. And when I mean the school portal, the COFA page, which is used for registration. And what do? We set up the page for application. Batches, if you observe the exam you wrote, they were written in batches, dates, and time. So that's what we do. And after the exam, we upload the score for all students. And also sending of SMS and mails as approved by the school management. And what mails, what do we send? Like the invitation for interview to successful candidates, they are cut off, congratulatory messages to admitted students, clearance requirements, list of where we upload the semester results. So the second cohort nursing will know what I mean, because we just uploaded their results this morning. And also registration of courses which will teach you is done by yourself. And other issues arising from wrongly spelled names on their school portal and change of phone numbers and email. Because during the last exam, we observed that some people missed the exam, not because they used the wrong email. Some of them used cyber cafe's email for interview. They didn't get it. And also, if you forget your password, you come to the ICT unit. So basically, the ICT unit handles everything concerning connectivity, internet connectivity on campus, and any issues arising from your COFA page. Thank you.
Please, do you have any question for our Director of Facility? Director of ICT, sorry. Do you have any question for our Director of ICT? Okay, let's proceed. Wi-Fi password. All right, we'll give that to you. Oh, you already know? Wonderful. Please put your hands together for yourselves. After now, we'll give you the password, okay? It's not a secret. It's not hidden. It's your right. I will give it to you. So put your hands together for him once again. Okay, going forward, we'd like to welcome our renowned teacher, a trained psychologist turned in the college. Unfortunately, the deputy provost is not around, probably to have update you on the kind of hairstyle you are permitted to carry as nurses. One that you are expected to wear. This is, what do you call the other one? That rubber one that you used to wear. Please, cross. We don't accept. Is it cross? We don't accept it. Once you are on our uniform, you must be on a low shoe, rubber shoe, and you must be very neat. You must be very neat. A quick reminder for those that are here to take their COVID-19 vaccine. There's a team from the COVID-19 office at the gate there. Before you enter the examination, they will populate the results, and students will see the result and they will go and delete the result. When you are registering for the second semester, your first semester result will not be visible. Can you please put your hands together for him? All right, any question? Any question? Do you have questions concerning clearance?
Something that we pay immediately, or we can do that later.
Okay. Yes, the stationary payment is part of your clearance. It's 14,200. 500. Okay, 14,500. And they will give you your notes. You are not supposed to buy your notes outside the school. They will give you notebooks and other books. The reason why curriculum and manual and the rest, they will give it to you. The reason why those of you that cleared yesterday or the first day, the reason why they didn't give you books is because in the interim we don't have these books around. So the people will be bringing the books probably this week. For those that cleared like last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, you got your notebooks.
So you are supposed to pay your stationery at the point of your clearance.
You said something like on Friday we should bring our scan. Is it the film that we should bring for the result?
Well, yes, the results. The result. And some of you, although we will be announcing those people later, some of you are not done with your clearance. We cannot attend to you today nor tomorrow, but by Thursday, your lecture starts officially on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, so we'll conduct election for you on Wednesday morning for those that will be leading your class, like the class rep and the assistant and all that. So by Wednesday morning, we'll be in your class. Any more questions? Any other questions? Okay, come forward.
I just want to know, for those of us staying in the hostel, when do they start with their the roll calls?
Okay, on your roll call, those are hostelers. Your hostel manager is here. She'll be talking about the hostel and everything in the hostel.
We are actually lacking.
Okay. Please step backward. Step backward. Because of the speaker. Okay. Okay. Alright. Were you here when the facility director? So why didn't you answer that question? Alright, we'll work on that. I will channel your question. We'll work on that. Any more questions? Question? Where? Says on none.
All right, going forward, we'll call on a renowned nurse, retired but not tired, very young at heart, to speak on hostel rules and regulations. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Abigail Mwata, the hostel manager.
Good afternoon. As he has just said, I am Mrs. Emata Abigail. I'm your hostel manager in Nebo. So I'm here to tell you about the hostel rules. And please listen fully, because it's only when you obey our rules and regulations that you enjoy your stay in the hostel. Is that not true? So, for point of emphasis, your accommodation does not include, I hope you were told, you'll be required to feed yourself. We have food vendors that will be cooking, and then you are expected to come with plain colored bed sheets, not flowered bed sheets. So if you know you brought flowered bed sheets, you take them back and bring plain colored bed sheets. And then you are required to carry your valid identity card. It will be issued to you by the college. Then the school authority does not accept any responsibility for loss or damages to your personal belongings. So please, you try and take care of your belongings. I'm sure they have given you your wardrobes. If the key is there, it's like most of the keys open each other. You will get staples and get your padlock so that you can secure your property. And then you must ensure that your doors are locked and all electrical switches are switched off when not in use. The college will not be responsible. Okay, the college will be responsible for replacing electric bulbs. Please, whenever you are leaving the hostel, ensure that you switch off your fans and your lights And then your taps, please. If you open your tap and it's not running, please lock it. Because if you are not there, they are pumping water, the water will be wasting. The rooms are to be kept clean by you. The cleaners are only responsible for cleaning your surroundings. You will take care of the cleaning of your hostels. Is that okay? Is that taken? Your hostels, you will take care of it yourselves. The cleaners will only be responsible for cleaning the surroundings. Then you must not pour water out of your windows. And then you must not hang clothes on your windows too, please. Then your musical instruments should not be played after 8 p.m. Is that taken? So that you won't disturb other people. If you don't have what you are doing, there are some other people that have things to do. So you don't have to disturb people. You are not allowed to host visitors in your hostel. If you have visitors, you can only host them in your common room or in that our hall, that big hall there, please. You cannot host your visitors also at the gate or around the premises. You use your common room. The students are responsible for the care of furniture and equipment provided in the rooms and hostels. A student or group of hostels who damage hostel property will be held accountable and to replace such items. Please, like your mattresses, the chairs they will give to you and your bed, you have to take good care of them. If you damage them, you will replace, so please. Then visiting time is every day. Mondays to Friday, we have 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Then Saturdays and Sundays, we have 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you are requesting for pass, you must ask at the reception. I will either be there or one of the porters to give you pass to go out. Electric cookers are not allowed. Ring boilers are not allowed, please. Even candles, you cannot use candles in your hostel, please. You can bring rechargeable lights. You are allowed to use irons, pressing irons. Possession or dissemination of pornographic materials are also strictly prohibited. If you are caught causing embarrassment by unsolicited compliments or sexually tainted jokes, or you cause spreading rumors, you will be dealt with. They are not, such things are not allowed, please. Please remember that you have been called to a noble profession and we have our ethics. So you must allow that to guide every action of yours. And from time to time, we have the right to come into your hostel to inspect. If your hostel is dirty, you'll be made to clean it and you'll be made to pay fines. No, hawkers are not allowed in the hostel or to come into your rooms. Then every day at 8 p.m., we do roll calls. And you must be there at 8 p.m. If you are consecutively late, absent from your hostel 3 times without permission, you'll be expelled from the hostel. And then the student lodge is locked at 7:45 p.m. So please ensure that you obey our rules and regulations for your own good and for the good of everybody, so that you can enjoy your stay. I wish you all the best in Jesus' name. Any question? Thank you very much. Please, I wanted to some of us have not so for those of us that have not resumed, have you started counting? No, it's from when you have not come to the hostel. It's when you come to the hostel. Any other question? As regards the kind of hair you should carry, look at your senior colleagues. In nursing, we don't allow flowing hair like the one you are carrying now. You can't carry it on your uniform, even you too. You have to pack your hair. Your hair must not touch your uniform. Are we okay? All right.
A round of applause for the hostel manager. All right. The last lecture for the day, which will be delivered by the bursar who's not available, but standing in her place is the school accountant, Mrs. Omere. Please, round of applause for the school accountant. Please clap for the school accountant.
Right. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Osahiruven Blessing Ome. The harrow is silent. Praise the Lord. People are laughing. In everything we should give God thanks now. We should praise God, Abby. Okay. Standing in for the bursar. The name of the bursar is Mrs. Geraldine Abu. So I'm giving this talk on behalf of the bursar. So what we'll be looking at today is the role of the bursary department in Edo State College of Nursing Sciences. First of all, I want to say congratulations to every one of us, because I know the number of students that applied. At the end of the day, we took just 100, so which means you guys did very well. But I want to encourage us, this is just the beginning. You understand? You did well to come in. That was just, the way you did is just a little of what you're about to start experiencing. So I want you to try harder. How many of us were here when the commissioner, during the morning session, how many of us were all here? And we heard all that was said. Your profession is a wonderful profession. Like I tell myself now, I finished 18 years ago. I finished 2004. I started school 2000. If I had the mindset I had now, then maybe, I'm not saying 100%, maybe I've considered being a nurse. So I want to encourage us, let's do our best so that we'll graduate well. So what's bursary? I believe we have heard about bursary. What do you understand by bursary? Bursary?
The financial department, those collecting money.
The financial department. And we know that money is very important, Abby. Even the Bible says that money answereth what? So for every establishment to stand, there must be what? Money. So when we're talking about bursary, we're just talking about, let me just break it down. We're talking about money management, collection of money, dispensing of money, management of money. You get it? So, and in Edo CNS, a bursary is a department, and we are 7 staffs. The head of the bursary is the bursar. She's the financial secretary, she's the treasurer, and the chief financial manager of the college. I believe you have all paid your school fees. You have paid for first semester. Without that payment, they won't have cleared you. So nobody is indebted here. And you paid, how did you pay? You paid online, right? So when it comes to payment, you don't even receive cash here. You have to pay online. But that doesn't mean that you don't have relationship with bursary. Because once in a while, you have to come to bursary. And I believe you came, it was, those of us that you have all paid for your stationaries. You have all paid for your stationaries. And I believe not everyone here have gotten their stationaries. Yes, we want to apologize for that. But from Wednesday, you go to library, ask for the bursary staff there. You can go and collect your stationaries from Wednesday. Don't go tomorrow. Just go on Wednesday. Not tomorrow is our matriculation. So I believe a lot of us here will have that time to collect. So just go on Wednesday. It will give you your stationaries. So in bursary, what do we do? When you have financial issues, some of us might have issues with our with our money and the rest. Maybe you paid online and it's not reflecting the portal. You come to bursary and lay those complaints. And I want to also encourage us. You have to keep proper financial records. Because once you are graduating, we are going to ask you,
for you to do clearance, we're going to be asking for your receipts, which is like the online printout. Are you getting it? Every payment you made, whether you are making payment for your stationaries, you know that printout, POS printout normally fades. So I will advise that by the time they give you that POS printout, go and make photocopy and keep that photocopy. You have misplaced yours already. They collected it. Is it not POS printout normally prints too now? They collected the printout. Who collected the printout? Yeah, who? They say you collected. No, wait. Before you gave him the printout, it was in your possession, right? You were supposed to have made photocopy before giving. Because the truth is that even if it's in your file, you're supposed to have your copy. You say? Okay, going forward, I want to advise. I'm an accountant and I don't work with them say, this is what happened, this is what did not happen. Your receipt is your proof of payment. Whenever you make any payment, always make photocopy of that payment before you submit. It's always advisable. Are you getting it? Going forward, any payment you make photocopy and have your copy. You can never tell what will happen, but at least you are sure that you have your copy. You understand? Any question? We are tired. We want to go, Mabi. This is just the beginning. You're already saying yes. Do you know that when it's not which say you have to read hard.